this one, I don't know how long it's going to be, so it might get split into two parts. It's a combination of just Ogryn tactics, and because not many people use the Ogrins in the new codex because of their point cost, and also general tactics for how to make a close combat themed Imperial Guard army, since that's been one of the larger challenges in the codex since it came out. So, moving right into the close combat aspect of it, what kind of things you want in your army. There's a few units that are kind of a must if you want a good close combat army. Personally, the Ministrum Priests are essential. You can give them an Eviscerator, which is basically a power fist with extra damage against vehicles. And the most important ability, Righteous Fury, means that when the squad he's in, when they assault, they get to reroll their misses to hit in close combat. So, great ability. Also, he doesn't take up a Force Org slot, so you can just get him out of the HQ section. Doesn't take up a spot, and then you just throw him in any squads you want. So he's going to be essential to any close combat army. The other ones that I think are also really important that I take are Lord Commissars. They have their Aura of Discipline. Everything within 6 can use his leadership of 10, which is fantastic. And the squad he's part of gets stubborn, so they don't take minuses for leadership tests in close combat. So if you lose by 10, you're still taking leadership at normal leadership 10. So those two are really important for a good close combat army. Veterans are a good start. They're not too expensive. They can still do really good shooting, get a lot of special weapons, throw them in a Chimera. I tend not to lean towards the infantry platoons for the close combat army because typically they're only really good when they're sitting out behind some cover with like a grenade launcher and an autocannon or something like that. And putting them inside a Chimera just makes me wonder why I didn't get veterans instead. So if you're doing an all-out close combat theme army, I would usually stay away from the infantry platoons and take veterans instead. Penal legions aren't really that useful. I use them occasionally just because they're fun, but they're not really useful. So if you there's two kinds of close combat armies you might want to do. I have only been doing a hybrid up to this point, trying to test out some of my ideas before I go all out with it. But I hope to, in the next week or two, do a battle on Vassal at least to kind of give the close combat army a test run before I start buying everything for it, because it's a lot of new models that I don't have yet. I'm going to be converting some models too, which will be fun. But if you're doing a hybrid list, then you might just want a few squads in Chimeras dedicated to close combat, and then you can still have the rest of your army with Layman Russes and infantry platoons, that kind of stuff. So let me just go over what my army list has in it. Apologies for not looking at the camera. This is my 2,000 point, just copy and paste close combat spamming list. Not a lot of thought has gone into each and every unit that goes into it as far as how many units. So I might take 1 or 2 units out and put in something new when I think come up with some better ideas. I've got a Lord Commissar with 2 Power Fists, 2 of those. The reason he's got 2 Power Fists, if you only have 1, you don't get +1 attack for 2 close combat weapons. If he has 1 Power Fist, what's the point of not having a second one? It's only 15 points. So on the charge, Lord Commissar with 2 Power Fists gets 5 Power Fist attacks. So I've got 2 of those Lord Commissars. I've got 2 Ministrum Priests with Eviscerators. And I've got 2 squads of 5 Ogrins and a Chimera with extra armor. I've got 4 squads of veterans with 2 melta guns and a flamer, a power fist, and a Chimera with extra armor. I'll try to type this out too. And then I've got 3 squads of 10 rough riders with a power weapon and 2 melta guns in each squad. That comes up to 5 points over, but that's easy to work out. There's lots of changing around I still have to do in this list, so essentially how this runs, in 1 Chimera, you might notice they're in several states of disrepair. I'm in the middle of a pin vicing video, which you guys will eventually see. What happens with this list so far is a Lord Commissar and a Ministrum Priest hop inside with the 5 Ogrins in the Chimera. Now, Chimera can carry 12 guys. Ogrins take up 2 apiece, so that fits perfectly in there. You can shoot 5 models out of the top. Perfect again. You've got 5 Ogrins with their weapons shooting out of the top. When you charge, Ogrins have Furious Charge. which is great. And the Minister of Priest lets them all reroll there to fail the hits. So it's a pretty powerful list. Let's just say it can take out just about anything. I did a test run on Vassal just not too long ago with this squad. Disembarked, shot and dual charged 2 squads of 10 Space Marines, each with a sergeant with a power weapon. I took 2 wounds, which was just a little bit under odds. I probably should have lost 1 full Ogren. And I did 19 unsaved wounds in return. Got him down to 1 guy and then obviously overran him. So things to note with this, with the test run, I re-rolled any ridiculously out of odds things. Mainly what I re-rolled was the Space Marine saves, because I did get 18 wounds, they failed 10. I'm like, that's way more than statistics, so I re-rolled it. They got a 12, I re-rolled it again, they got a 6, that's odds. So I re-rolled ridiculous things like that, so it's still kind of close to odds. Had I not, they probably would have killed somewhere around 22 to 25 Space Marines in 1 round of combat, and took 2 wounds in return, which doesn't even kill a whole Ogren. So Rough Riders are great. I'm probably going to do an individual tactica for how each one of these squads works, but the general idea of the army is 1 squad's got Ogrens with the Lord Commissar and the Minister and Priest. This vehicle right here will have the Veterans. Veterans, if you have the points to spare, Minister and Priest in here with an Eviscerator will help a lot too. But basically you just run them together. Ogrens are the big bulk of the thing. They take all of the wounds. They're good for that. Veterans, you kind of keep in the Chimera unless you really need the backup. They're there to help take out any vehicles you encounter, that kind of stuff. They've got the melter guns. You can give guys in each squad melt the bombs, the leaders if you need to. So these 2 units can take out anything in the game essentially. In that they can take out any vehicle armor, they can hurt any creature toughness. So it's a really good, you're prepared for any situation. You might just have to soften them up a little with some shooting first. So the main thing you'll probably notice this list is lacking is it doesn't have any Lamb Russ. It doesn't have any heavy support vehicles. The last thing you want in a dedicated close combat army is half of your points sitting in the back. You need to put as much pressure on as once as you can. If you notice the Rough Riders, there's 10 of them in a squad. They've got melter guns just in case. I think you can give the sergeant melt. I'm not really sure on that. They're really weak. They're the most fragile thing in your army because they're not in any sort of protection. Crappy saves, crappy toughness. They're going to be riding behind the Chimeras because the Chimeras can move 6 a turn, 12 a turn, sorry, and the Rough Riders only move 12 a turn if they get a 6 on their fleet. So ride them behind, make them want to kill the Chimeras first just because of what's inside. Rough Riders can sweep up anything that's left on the board pretty easily. So that's pretty much it, what makes up my list. And so you guys know, I'm finally painting some of my models again. Here's my Dreadnought work in progress. I'm starting to do a video for painting my 2 Dreadnoughts, but I don't know if I'm going to finish it, so I figured I'd just show you now. I'm pretty much done with the yellow. I'm just going to do like a golden yellow thin coat over all of it to make it all a little bit more yellow and less tannish. But the yellow I did first, and I'm doing all the black, and